Hello, my name is Matthew Jordan. I'm a master's student in psychology at St. John's College, and I would love to be a speaker at this year's TEDx Oxford conference. The theme of the conference is Think Again, so I'd like to give a talk on some of the most incredible and counterintuitive features and flaws of the human mind. Our brains are incredible. We have been endowed by natural selection with the ability to recognize faces in an instant, acquire a language as a child with no formal training, find beauty in literature, art, and mathematics, and philosophize about the very brains that are doing the philosophizing. But our brains evolved a long, long time ago when our species faced the challenges inherent to a hunter-gatherer lifestyle, things like acquiring food, warding off enemies, and staying safe. As a result, we have evolved many habits of mind that are unhelpful or even downright dangerous in the 21st century. We are biased, we are susceptible to fallacious reasoning, and our judgments and decisions are often prone to error. However, psychologists have been studying these cognitive flaws for the last 50 years, and by understanding some of the ways in which our minds are susceptible to error, we can think again and better understand the world. Here's a simple example to illustrate. Think about a time when you were in a disagreement with somebody. You might have pulled out the best facts, the most sound data, and the most cogent argument to support your position, but the other person didn't change their mind. Why is this? Social psychologists have determined that very few people form their opinions or beliefs by impartially weighing data and facts and reaching a balanced conclusion. Rather, most people use facts and data selectively in order to justify their gut intuitions. The rational part of the mind is far less like an impartial judge and far more like a press secretary who is tasked with coming up with convoluted explanations to justify our gut intuitions. This is true for even the most well-educated and rational among us. So this is the first principle of cognitive bias that I'll be talking about. Intuitions come first, strategic reasoning second. By understanding this principle, we can better learn how to change minds, including our own. Here's a second example. Surely we've all had the experience of reading a textbook or paper and feeling our eyes glaze over as we struggle to understand the jargon-riddled text, or we're sitting in a class and we completely fail to follow the lecture because the ideas and terms are coming out of absolutely nowhere. Well, in these cases, the writers and professors are suffering from a phenomenon known as the curse of knowledge, which is the fact that once you know something, it's difficult, if not impossible, to understand what it's like not to know it. As a result, explanations are often filled with jargon and abstractions, when in reality, they should be simple, concrete, and familiar. For example, I could have easily told you that the talk that I want to give is about systemic errors and deviations from norms of rational judgment and the creation of subjective irrational realities. Okay, if I had told you that, I would have been cursed by my own knowledge of the subject. Rather, I should give it some thought and tell you what it really is, namely, figuring out some ways our minds are flawed and how we can identify and fix those errors. Here are a few rapid-fire questions to round out the examples I'm going to give. Why are we so much more afraid of flying in an airplane rather than driving in a car, even though you're thousands more times likely to die in a car crash? And why do some things just feel wrong even though they don't harm anybody? These questions have precise psychological explanations, and understanding them can help us become better reasoners, better empathizers, and wiser policymakers. and I'd love to talk about these things at TEDx. Thank you.